Welcome to the Deconverted Game Show, where we pit Deconverted Man against this video. Will he lose his sanity, or will the video win? Which would also make him lose his... There's no winning in this game show! Okay, Blue Sheep, we're going to analyze this video.
Their masterpieces are still expressing the master's minds continuously. These are the information without sound. You don't need to study science to know how marvelous the universe is, even to the point that it is impeccable. Everything is working so nicely together. If you plant some flowers in the spring, they will wither and die in the fall, and yet they will come back to life next spring. How marvelous is that? The creation now is expressing God's mind. Where are these things come from? Through the creation. If you do not suppress the truth, you will know God created them all.
I find it odd that theists will point to the good and nice things when talking about God's creation, yet never talk about yucky things like viruses or tapeworms, or all those parasites that can take over things, like the opticord unicorn... let me see, ladder alleys. No, wait, the oompa, the uni, the ophicordyceps unilaterals. You're gonna have to put that one up for me, Deconverted Man. I just can't pronounce it. Well, this thing takes over an ant and makes it climb a tree where it can hang itself by its mouth and dies. Then the fungus thing breaks through the ant's head and sends its spores everywhere. What the bleep did the ants ever do to you, God? I mean, I could understand if it was a snake. We know you don't like snakes, but damn! And that's just one of the many creatures that can take over other creatures. God made all the most horrible of viruses and bacteria as well. Since I'm at it, I might as well complain about your poisoning of the well here. And, when you say that if you do not, quote, suppress the truth, you will know God, end quote. This is poisoning of the well, circular reasoning, presupposition, and a false dilemma. Jeez, the truth must be shown to be true. You have not done that. Not even close.
No
wonder the Bible says in Romans chapter 1 verse 20, "For since the creation of the world, God's invisible qualities, his eternal power, and the divine nature have been clearly seen, being understood from what has been made, so the people are without excuse."
How can you see something that is invisible?
I was just going to ask that question, but worse than that, this is nothing more than circular reasoning. We've been given no reason to think that the Bible matters yet. So use your brain to know that God exists is the premise of the video. Well, okay, use your brain to show that the Bible is anything that we should care about in your video, that you're telling us to use our brain to know God exists, but we don't even know that the Bible is a reliable source from which to quote from because you didn't demonstrate that it is. Thus, it's nothing more than circular reasoning. The Bible said, blah, I don't care. What's your point? Spider-Man said, with great power comes great responsibility. Or, well, it was Uncle Ben. Somebody said it. I don't know. Whatever. It doesn't matter.
So how do you recognize the existence of God? Not by proofs. We are so limited that unable to prove. We know we cannot see the wings. But when you see the grasses move and the tree branches are waving, you know there is wind. So to recognize God, not by proof, but by the causal relationship. This is the great scientist Newton. He was a Christian. Very few people know that he actually had more biblical expository than scientific publications. He had a friend who was an atheist. One day he went to visit Newton, but he was busy doing experiments in the lab. So his friend waited in the living room. He saw an instrument like this, which is a model of solar system. He was amazed how well the model, which has a handle you can turn so that all the planets revolve around the sun. When Newton came out, he asked who made this wonderful instrument. Newton just joked with him, saying, "No one made it. It came by itself." His friend immediately said, "That's not possible. Someone must have made it."
Say it with me, everyone. Appeal to an anecdote. Did this really happen? Citation required, even if this conversation took place. Who cares?
What you mean by who cares is, what relevance does this supposed conversation have? That is to say, maybe it took place, but so what? Modern day scientists have also had conversations that we can actually verify where they have said they don't believe in God, or perhaps even that you don't need God, or maybe in some cases that there is no God. So I could just simply pick one of those conversations as if that made my case for me. It doesn't. Arguments must stand or fail on their own, and simply citing people that seem to agree with you doesn't really get you much of anywhere. Maybe in an essay, but you can do better. Well, maybe you can't, but somebody out there could. The problem is, this is nothing more than an argument to and from ignorance. You don't know how the solar system or the universe formed, even though that's something that science explains pretty well. Therefore, it must be some sort of deity. Although that jump is a pretty big jump to make. Any answer could go in there once you're settling for appealing to ignorance. Well, maybe it's magic. Maybe it's time travel. Maybe it's a computer simulation. Maybe fill in the blank. The thing is, instead of just guessing at what the answer is, science looks at the evidence that we find and says, I think we've got it, or at least part of it. Let's just keep looking, but we'll write that down, and we'll see if that proves itself true through the test of time. Now, maybe one day we'll discover that the universe really has some sort of intelligent creator behind all of it. But we'd have to be able to discover that through science. And those that guess blindly. And they guess in hopes of being right, but they can't possibly know that they're right.
Nowadays, many people are like that. They think that such a simple thing needs someone to make, and yet they think the well-organized solar system came by itself. If you compare the solar system with the Milky Way or the universe, it is trivial. Where did the vast universe come from? When you hear me speak, my throat sounds a little hoarse because I have acid reflux.
You know, God could have made it that we would never have the problem of acid reflux. But, it's all part of God's wonderful, magnificent plan. So you should be happy that you have acid reflux. Right? Right?
The problem with acid reflux is caused by the little organ above the stomach called cardia. Because of aging, it cannot hold tight. So the stomach acid spills into esophagus and throat. Just little thing separates two areas. For in the stomach, we need strong acid to digest food. Yet in the esophagus and the throat, they cannot tolerate any acid. When you see this, you know it's by design. If we are from evolution, all of our body ought to tolerate acid, but it does not.
As the text indicates this would be horrible design. Actually, evolution doesn't guarantee that all of our body would be immune to acid, but a creator could guarantee that, making it that we wouldn't be bothered by any acids, let alone our stomach acid. And by the way, we wouldn't even need stomach acid or a stomach. The creator could have given us photosynthesis or just given us infinite energy from itself so that we don't have to consume anything at all. But the sort of body that we have evolved slowly through time to the result that we have now. It's not like an instant poofed into existence sort of thing, which is something that I guess creationists run into, thinking because their own Bible, the way that they view their own Bible at any rate, says that it all just, kind of poofed into existence. But that's not how the way it works. So if this is design, it's horrible design. If it's evolution, it makes perfect sense. Unless, of course, you don't understand anything about evolution like this guy, then, well, it doesn't make sense because you don't understand it.
I live in Seattle area. We have Amazon, Microsoft. We also have Boeing company. Boeing makes airplanes. In the old day, they used lever principle to control the wings and the rudder. But to save money and keep the weight of the airplane down, now they use the hydraulic systems. But the hydraulic system has a problem that it may leak. For flight safety reason, they use multiple backup systems. This is Boeing 737. There are 3 hydraulic systems to control the wings and the rudder. If one fails, the other 2 will bring the airplane back to the airport. That is designed in. Therefore, when you see a system, there are multiple sets of backup systems, you know it's by design.
Well, since you don't understand anything about biological evolution, I'm going to go ahead and assume that you also don't understand human anatomy. We have one heart. One. No backup heart. So, there you go. Also, we have one brain. No backup brain. So, if the brain fails, you're screwed. Because that's you. And then there's, I don't know, one liver. Okay, well, you got 2 kidneys. So, okay, I'll give you that one. You got 1 pancreas. 1 bladder. I'm just saying, there's not like multiple backup systems here. So if they fail, you're just kind of screwed. You only have 2 arms. And if one gets cut off, that's it. It's gone. It doesn't just regrow itself like starfish do. Why not? Why couldn't it do that? Why wouldn't it do that? And it's interesting that you go to technology again and go, they made this change to improve it. Okay. So they made it better. But God didn't make us better and isn't making us better. The flaws that our body has is still with us. It is science and technology that's making life better, not your God. So, although the comparison is wrong because it's technology versus biology, your God stopped tinkering with the mechanisms and thus were just not really well-running systems. So, yeah. I guess God's a bad airline person mechanic. Not that analogy made any sense anyways.
It cannot be natural. I'm interested in acupuncture. In our body, there is the meridian system. You also have the ear acupuncture system, as well as the head skin acupuncture system. One time, a friend of mine had a backache problem.
Acupuncture? Acupuncture? Are you kidding me? You believe that nonsense? that nonsense idea, that non-science idea. Really? It's never been proven to do anything. And it can make things even worse. Oh, your friend had it done, huh? Really? Really? Appeal to the minority of one. This is not science. Oh, I don't know, Deconverted Man. You're on your own. This broke me. This broke me. This broke me. Acupuncture. You gotta be freaking kidding me.
A backache problem, and a head skin acupuncture specialist happened to travel by. He put a few needles on his head and he was healed miraculously. I also like to do reflexology. In our feet, there are so-called reflection points. If you have a problem with a certain organ, just rub the reflection point and drink a lot of water. Your problem will go away gradually. What is strange is that when you look at the map, you see the reflection points are completely symmetry to your body. If we are the result of random chances from evolution, even if we had some sort of medical system in our body, the map ought to be randomly distributed. Not only you can do reflexology at your feet, you can do it on your hands too. And the map is also completely symmetry to your body.
I've been listening to that horse shit of yours for months. And you can take that crap and blow it out your ass. And for good measure, sit on this.
Well, Dave Stewart, we didn't make it. We're almost there. But we didn't make it, man. There's too much video to do. Too many things that he says that are so wrong that I have to, like, point out how wrong they are. And that makes it longer every time. There's no way to make it shorter. And then the blue sheep, it's like coming to life and talking to me and driving me around. I don't know if it's a dream or if it's reality. I don't know what's going on anymore. This video series it's just destroying all things that are good and decent in this world. Wait a minute. Maybe that's his plan. Yeah, that's his plan, isn't it? To destroy us all. Well, it won't work. It won't work. I've got logic and lobsters on my side. Yeah. And what? 18 minutes? Oh, all I have to do is keep ranting and I'll hit 20. And then I'll hit 20. The molecules of the inverse flagellum are inverse to the upper pylon within inverted mass times pi r squared. And then the fixer upper is inverse to the logical... Wait, no, where are you going? No, don't, no! Next time on Johnny Drive-By. You mean Deconverted Man. What's Johnny Drive-By have anything to do with this video at all? That's ridiculous, announcer voice. Get it right! Next time on Deconverted Man. Yeah, I guess I'll be talking about reflexology and as well as making yourself a human pincushion and why all of that is complete and utter nonsense. That's next time on He already said next time. Why do I say next time? Is that in the script? Where's the script? I could see the script.